think we're live on Mob Crush right now. If you're just now joining us, or I guess if you're watching this later on YouTube, thanks for watching the video version of the podcast. Just a couple of quick housekeeping things to do before we get started here. I gotta put the post on the front page that we're doing this. Send out the tweet. Looks like a lot of people are filling up the channel, which is good. Where the why are you doing that? Is that just what I sound like when I
Yep.
do stuff?
You had a slightly prolonged for a little bit there.
All right, so tweet should be out. Yep, that works. Should be on the site. That also works.
How does this work? If I'm looking at Mob Crush right now and there's nothing. Oh wait.
It's because there's like a good 20-second delay.
There's a delay, so it's
now I see
was like
something.
it was like a minute from when you said like we're on.
Yeah. Well, it's significant, but whatever. It's not a big deal.
I'm sure it's random for some people too. It might be like 30 seconds for others or
something like that. All right, well, you guys
I
ready
mute this.
to record? Is everyone?
I want to listen to both.
That is very stupid. You're an idiot.
Okay, I'll mute the Mob Crush or you guys.
All right. Yeah, I guess if you want to watch the video that is delayed substantially, you can, but definitely mute the audio. So, was that a yes? Everyone's ready?
Oh,
Yes.
I'm ready.
I was born ready.
All right. Well, I should. I guess since we have a sponsor this week, we'll do the sponsor stuff too. So big thanks to Fedine this week for the mobile version of Forsaken World. It's available now on the App Store. You can find out more at fedine.com. It's FEDEEN.com/games/Forsaken-World, or just search for Forsaken World on the App Store. I guess that would also work. Pretty cool MMO. Worth checking out. So here we go. I'm gonna start recording official now.
Oh, this is for real.
This is for real. So shut the hell up. Hey guys, what's up? You're listening to the TouchArcade Show, episode number 215, if my math is correct.
Oh my goodness.
There's a lot of podcasts.
It's like too many probably.
It's kind of crazy when you think about that. So if there's, although I guess we recorded a bunch of podcasts and then we kind of stopped doing podcasts and then started again. So, but either way, if you're 52 weeks in a year, that's over 4 years of weekly podcasts.
I think if there was never a hiatus, we'd be at 300 or something, right?
Something like that.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess thanks to Brad Nicholson for rebooting the podcast and stuff. We got
that was a good reboot.
We got 2 iTunes reviews in the last. Well, I guess last week was a little bit of a weird episode because Jared you were in London.
Oh, that's right.
So I recorded with Carter, and I had crap to do on Friday, and just wanted to get it done. So we recorded earlier in the week, and so I hadn't got the email with all the iTunes reviews yet. So we've got 2 iTunes reviews, 1 positive, 1 negative.
Oh no.
And 1 email. So you guys tell me, what order do you want these in?
I want the bad one.
Well, the email might be bad.
Uh,
It has no line breaks, so that's automatically.
Review.
All right, bad review. Here we go. This is a 1-star review. I guess to frame this a little bit, we've had a lot of. It's weird. Ever since we put up our Patreon, like there's 3 reactions to the Patreon. First of all is, oh, cool, Patreon. Yeah, totally. I'd love to support you guys. Second reaction is, oh, Patreon. Well, I mean, that's cool that you guys are doing that, but I'm not, not a Patreon person or
yeah, good luck.
whatever.
Good luck
Yeah,
with it.
basically like indifference. Then the third is people that are like angry. And so this comes out of left field from people that are angry about that. And here we go. It's by 1 star by AQ808, posted on July 11th, 2015. They say, if you found yourself pining for the inane rants of middle-aged hipsters, boy, are you in for a treat. It still strikes me as completely unbelievable that Macrommers would hire a banned forum troll to run their gaming site, but there you have it. However, it's even more shocking that the guy nearly runs the site into the ground, bashing any end user that won't pay for premium games, then turns around and begs for money on Patreon after spending years bashing Kickstarter project on this very podcast. Best advice you'll ever get from an iTunes review? Don't feed these trolls.
Ooh.
Wow. So that is somebody that has definitely been following your work for a while.
Yeah. Here's what's always interesting to me about like our very, very, very angry contingent of readers. Because there's I don't want to say a ton, but there's enough that it's noticeable. You know, like maybe a small handful, I guess. But like there are people out there that genuinely hate TouchArcade and genuinely seem to hate us and hate everything we do and do nothing but criticize everything we do and are just super negative about everything, but they just can't look away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Did you ever? I won't. This isn't going to go into wrestling, but there's a wrestling site. I occasionally read BleacherReport.com.
I read that.
Yeah, and like there's usually a couple writers on there that if you look at the comments, there's always the same people just bashing them, like saying like this article is stupid, like this writer doesn't know what they're talking about, like on every one of their articles, like. It seems so weird to me. Like, if you see it's an article by someone you don't agree with, maybe I don't know, maybe just don't agree with them, their opinion or their look on something.
It just seems like a strange way to spend your free time. We're on this
getting mad.
For a limited amount of time. Yeah. So
like, anything that like anything that someone writes, like that person's gonna get mad at, so they have to comment. And so it's I mean, I guess that's what the internet is. So there's a small contingent of people that like to comment negatively on.
What's interesting to me about people that are still trying to do like an internet gotcha over like Kickstarter stuff is that like I actually would have been right about 99% of the Kickstarter stuff. like close to 100. I don't want to quite say 100%, but like now that even Star Citizen is imploding, like I'm pretty sure my Kickstarter criticisms were spot on, even though you might have been angry at the time.
But where's my forum badge, Eli?
Well, they're coming.
Where's my
They're coming. Arn's working on that, so it's out of my control.
I do have to say, so out of that review, hiring a banned Mac Rumors forum troll is dead on. It's totally spot on. But I also love middle-aged hipster. I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Are you middle-aged when you're 30? Does that count as middle-aged?
Maybe when you're a hipster, you are.
I guess.
Like, I'm not planning on living much past 60. So.
Like you're like a middle-aged like before anyone else is middle-aged. You're like super cool.
But
I was middle-aged earlier than everyone.
I would say that these are definitely inane rants. So, but I think we have that in the iTunes description. Yeah. And if it's not in there, I'm definitely gonna add it after
the middle-aged rants of 30-year-olds.
I'm gonna rewrite the iTunes description to like if you're pining for inane rants of middle-aged hipsters, you've come to the right place.
You found it.
So yeah, I don't know. It's just always creepy to me that you have people. I mean, like this review is filled with information that this person has gathered over the course of years about us, right?
Yeah.
And it's like if you're so angry about TouchArcade, do something more positive with your time. Go volunteer. Do something.
Yeah,
I guess. So here's another one. Should we go to the more positive review?
This is the positive one.
The more positive one.
All right.
Okay,
so this is 4 stars from Lululamo in Australia. Okay. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's not how you pronounce your internet handle. Sorry. They say this podcast is great. Much better now that they seem to have stopped talking about wrestling and stuck to the topic iOS games. P.S. Space Miner Wars has soft launched in Australia. Would love if you guys are able to review it. I definitely think we're going to probably review it. We don't usually post reviews of free-to-play stuff until it's out everywhere.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. Like I feel like our core readership is savvy enough to know, the idea of what a soft launch is and how to get an Australian iTunes account and all that stuff. But as far as reviews are concerned, so much of it comes off of like Google traffic. And I don't think your random person is even searching for Space Miner Wars review yet because they don't even know it exists.
Right. Yeah.
And posting a review and saying go download it in the Australian App Store would probably just confuse those people. So,
but I think that game's not too far off because they put it in like another country or two recently. So
yeah,
it's growing and it'll be out everywhere pretty soon, I think.
Yeah, and then our email is from Matthew spelled with numbers, so M4T7HEW. All right, so this has no line breaks, so I might stumble over this a couple times. So
Read it all as one big sentence.
There's periods. So, all right. So you forgot a classic that you should all remember from the 80s version similar to YouTube, and subscribe from the 80s. And then he gives a YouTube link. I guess I'll click on this and see where it takes me.
Virus.
The YouTube link is, the Mickey Mouse Club. Okay, so the season 6 closing, MICKEYMOUSE. Watch the video, you'll remember. I think I know what Mike Mead has been not doing. Games he has... Wait. I think I know what Mike Mead has been not doing. That's in quotation marks. Games he has been doing too. Secretly planning on taking over the world, mwahaha. And then he links another video. Let's see what this video is.
I hope it's not my secret plans video.
Oh, it's Dr. Evil laughing from Austin Powers. Either that or he's been working on a Mickey Boots Mikey Shorts sequel. In which case, go Mikey. Mikey is a personal hero of mine. I think it might be too ambitious to see Mikey versus Zombies or Mikey Road, but a new Mikey game would rock. I agree on the comments of where kids these days think anything should take no work and be absolutely free. Yet they fail to remember that if anyone were to buy a game like Modern Combat costing them, but had no problem spending $60 buying a new Call of Duty game, it really stuns me. I have disabled and live on limited income, and even I would have no problem paying full price of $9.99 or $19.99 game on the App Store. If it was complete, stable, ad-free, instead of the paywall didn't exist, I'd do so happily. Yet teens and kids seem to think things on a mobile should all be free. But bitch when they get an ad-filled paywall piece of junk, pay-to-win games as a result. You want a solution to the problem? Easy. Bring back the trial as they get free games and with full games, as well as have a cost compared to what we all get. I think one of the worst reasons costing us all, especially app developers, a lot of pain and suffering was the addition of in-app purchasing on the App Store. Before that existed, you didn't see this toxic environment on the App Store. I also pay to help support services I value best. I am able to afford my monthly donation towards the TouchArcade podcast. Well, thank you. Keep up the great work, guys, and thanks for mentioning me in the podcast email I said before. Sure you guys do read email and do care enough to give responses. I love the podcast, guys. Keep up the good work. So
that was a lot of info.
Yeah.
That was a stream of consciousness email.
I'm just going to combine the whole...
I agree with it.
I'm going to combine the Mickey Mouse Club stuff with the Mikey Zombies and do a Mikey Mouse Club or a Mikey Zombie
Shorts
Club.
Fun Show.
Yeah, I'll do the Mikey Shorts Fun Show game.
You should. Why aren't you? I guess is my...
I should probably get on that. Somewhat wise middle-aged hipster once told me just make Crossy Road. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The part about all the in-app purchase stuff and the decline of the App Store and all that stuff with the in-app purchases, it's kind of a tricky argument because I don't know. I don't know where the App Store would be without in-app purchase stuff. As much as you can kind of blame free-to-play and in-app purchase stuff being the decline of paid apps, it's also kind of resulted in people investing way more money in the App Store because the potential for making money is so much higher. So I don't know.
There was a race to the bottom of 90. Everything was just 99 cents. That became 99 cents for everything, and that's pretty much all you could make was 99 cents. So you had to hope that you get a lot of people buying it. And now it's when people's apps or anyone's app is free. It seems like you just don't know how much someone is going to spend, or or maybe if it's just video ads. It's the whole ad thing just really took off with the free to play, and because not all apps are just free to play with tons of in-app purchases.
Right. I think a lot of the times
it's money off
ads. It's really easy to paint with a very broad brush and be like, oh, free to play is ruining this and free to play is ruining that, and how dare you free to play. But I think in doing that, people are looking through a very narrow lens of the worst kind of free to play. The very early the Wii rules of the App Store and stuff like that, where it's very transparent, very minimal game that is literally trading your time for money when you buy things and stuff. But
people liked that though. That game was really popular.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my point is like it's not all free to play is bad. Like, you know, for instance, like League of Legends, Hearthstone, stuff like that. Those are outstanding games that also happen to be free to play.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's one of those things like, do you wish that in-app purchase never existed because, and you know, free to play was never a thing? Because if that's the case, like some of my absolute favorite games that I play right now, like every single day almost, wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Or if they did exist, like I can't imagine what weird form they would be in, because like those are kind of games that free to play works really well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like I feel like with free to play stuff, it's easy to get mad about, but you just need to figure out what kind of free to play you like, and then stick to those types of games. Like for me, I like games that, you know, I like free to play games that have a more sense of permanence to the things that you buy in game and the things you unlock in games and stuff like that. You know, like Hearthstone cards adding to my collection, or League of Legends champions or skins or whatever else in League of Legends. But I don't see much value in the free to play games where you trade money for, you know, time boost essentially. So I just don't play those games. And
yeah, I was going to say that,
you know,
the time boost stuff, the timers, I think, are what really gets people feeling like they're being, you know, the company's being sleazy or something. Like, because there could be a game that someone really likes, like really likes the gameplay, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, it's kind of like, oh, if you want to keep playing, you know, you either wait 15 minutes or you know, buy some stuff with real money. And it comes off a little bit maybe sleazy, you know, kind of to some people, like, wait a minute, now you want me to pay? Is this like, and then just or I could wait 15 minutes, but then other people don't mind just waiting. I'll just come back later, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. It kind of reminds me, I guess the best way to think of it is like treating, apply the argument of I hate free to play to like I hate any other like big major thing. Like you would never say like, oh, I hate food, you know, just because like you don't like junky fast food. Or maybe you do like a certain kind of, I mean, like I don't eat a lot of fast food, but I fucking love Taco Bell.
Yeah.
You know, so like for me, it's like I would never swear off fast food because I gotta have my Taco Bell.
Yeah, but there's people out there that are like super judgy about like, oh, you're eating fast food or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it applies everywhere, but
if they throw out another, you can get another bean burrito for 99 cents. You're like, oh man, that's pretty good. I think I'll get another one.
That's what you actually do at Taco Bell, though.
Yeah, but then
what are you talking about? If they ever?
Yeah, like when you order.
That
like
is the model that Taco Bell operates on.
Yeah, you just order a bunch of stuff, and then like you turn around and ask what anyone else wants. You know, they're like, "Whoa, I thought you were ordering for everybody." Like, no,
burritos for the whole store.
I'll just get burritos for everybody.
This example is just ridiculous.
Yeah, but then you see 99 cents in a game for something, you know, and you're like, whoa, what is this 99 cents business? You know, like what is this for? Because you're not quite sure what you're getting. You're not getting a real burrito, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't say cup of coffee, I say burritos now.
But can you define what a real burrito is?
Oh God, if you throw in the Chipotle burritos or something, those are like. What, like $6 or $7?
Is there real
now
burrito eaters like there's
burrito.
Real gamers?
I don't know. That's the Chipotle is probably not even a real burrito, right?
No, I would say. Well, I mean, I live in a very Hispanic part of town, and like
you gotta go to an authentic thing where the people don't speak much English, and then you get a good burrito.
Like a real burrito is actually sort of bland compared to what you get at Chipotle.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's anyone that's like actually getting mad when they drive
a nice
past Chipotle.
a nice sugary burrito. That's just like what?
So.
Sugar and everything.
Well, I don't know. I guess thanks for the email. Thanks for the iTunes reviews, both positive and negative. At least we have new fun stuff for the iTunes subscription.
Send all your burrito recommendations to TouchArcade.
Podcast at TouchArcade.com if you want to send us an email. Read all of them. I get so much spam though. If I missed your email, sorry. Just reply to it and it'll bump to the top of my inbox and I'll see it because man, the podcast emails got ruined.
It gets it's like 99-to-1 ratio.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like you have to hunt so hard for legitimate emails. But anyway, so what games should we talk about this week? Anyone have any suggestions for what we should?
I want to talk about the bad game that I don't like.
Oh no!
All right, which game was that?
Cubert Rebooted.
I may have deleted this already off my phone, so I might have to download it again so I can talk trash.
This makes me mad because. So they announced this game like a year ago. I remember writing about it, and then it's been out on Steam for I don't know some time, and I was actually pretty stoked for it because I liked the original Cubert back in the day, and apparently I heard they were holding the release so it would come out alongside the Pixels movie that's apparently terrible. That's playing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But,
I think
I'm
that's
sure.
definitely
I'm
a
sure
thing.
the movie's fine for what it is.
Yeah,
I don't think. I don't. If you're expecting some just epic, like movie,
know,
like
most-
top 10 movie of all time of.
Most Adam Sandler movies that do poorly in the box office, I end up liking when I see them. So
Yeah.
we'll see. But so anyway, so this game, the idea behind it is that it's like 2 games in one. It's like a faithful rendition of the original, which is good, and then it has like this rebooted version that's done with like a little 3D Cubert, and its pyramid isn't cubes. It's actually made out of like hexagonal cube sort of things. So so you know it's a real game because it has hexagons in it. But it's interesting. It's like I think it's a neat spin and like a neat update on the classic game, and then you
Wait a
also
minute,
get.
I
the
don't think
classic
I
game.
understand how you play Cubert.
You just gotta change the color of all the things.
Yeah, you
all
basically have
those
to
tiles.
bounce on every square without getting killed or jumping off.
I would
Oh.
think the controls would be easier if you would just kind of swipe in the direction that you'd want to go.
Well, here's
Sort
where
of.
I'm at. Is
But
that
you don't really do that. You kind of touch up high in the corners or something, I think.
yeah,
right?
that,
Is that how it
that's the
works?
thing. It's like I'm still not sure
That's how it
what you're supposed to do. I thought I had it figured out. I thought it was like the controls were just the 4 quadrants of the screen, which
Yeah.
makes sense. But that has failed me, and so this is really the thing that bugs me about this game is that it controls like crap, or else it just doesn't explain how it's supposed to control very good. The other weird thing about it is that like it feels like they just took the desktop game and just like slapped like a touch overlay onto it. Nothing really feels like optimized for like touchscreen use, even touching menus or doing anything.
Well, it
Yeah.
also they didn't even bother to change out where it says like click instead of tap.
Yeah, yeah, you can just tell it's like a slap some touchscreen overlay onto this game and make it work. It feels like it's optimized for like a mouse, which makes it hard to use your finger. And so even just like tapping on menu items and stuff is really frustrating. And it sucks because I really want to like this game. I think the game itself is probably good. It's just the controls are bad, and so that
I think
kind
you're
of
supposed to
ruins-
tap on the actual quadrants that you jump on.
Oh God, really?
Yeah.
No.
That's what I'm doing now. Like that seemed obvious.
Did
No, but it doesn't. It's so weird though. It's because it's like
I'm burning this shit up.
especially the classic one is too. It's like so small to like. I've tapped one that I was trying to tap on and like it didn't quite respond like to my correct one because I'm like it's like I'm just missing it. Oh, get this! When I first booted it up, I wanted to see who played it just to see what like a high score was. I went into I clicked on Game Center, it loaded it up. I closed Game Center and then a video ad plays. Like the
Oh.
first thing I did, just like watch, go and check your like quit and go to
Oh,
Game
yeah.
Center.
I just
It's
hit
like-
shop and an ad is playing.
Yeah, you go into like any of the menu places and then when you leave,
That's
it's
not
like
good.
plays a video ad that you can't. I'm like, what?
I specifically went
away.
to the shop to see if I could disable ads, and they throw an ad at you that you can't
Yeah.
skip.
As soon as you try to get back into the game, it's like, ha! I'm like,
And
no.
then the shop has flipped upside down. So, and now it's frozen. Huh. So anyway, I need to get out of this shop so I can see if I can play the game again. So let me try and touch the squares. Maybe that is how to do it. But do you see what I'm saying? Like anywhere you touch on the screen, there's this big weird like overlay, and it doesn't feel right. Like you can tell that it's not.
I mean, I'm not really having a problem, to be quite honest, but I am playing on an iPad.
Oh, I was playing on my little 5S, so when I tap those little things, it doesn't quite go every time to. So I wasn't sure if that was what was doing wrong.
So you don't specifically have to touch on the square. but
Whoa,
that
I'm getting
works.
an ad after 3 levels.
Yeah, you can pay to disable them, but okay, this is better. You're right, it's working now.
You guys all have big phones, huh? Or a big iPad, and Jared, do you have a 6? Oh, you just have a 6 regular one?
It's not huge, but it's working.
Alright,
this
not
is-
wild about the ads.
I don't like any game where I'm blocking what I'm seeing. Like,
Yeah, you do
like-
block it.
because like since I have a 5S, it's a lot smaller than those other. I mean, I should play this on my.
There's a
my-
ton of dudes that you
my
can unlock,
mini.
though. Like a ton of different Cuberts.
Yeah, I don't know. It's their setup is kind of funny to me. I don't know.
So I think this is just a good game that just needs a little bit of massaging.
Yeah.
The
rebooted stuff looks nice. Like it's
like
just,
So when you say a little bit of massaging, you mean they need to actually spend time on it other than just getting it running on the iPad or iPhone and just launching on the App Store?
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Huh. That's a weird concept.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting though is the contrast of this versus the Pac-Man game that came out this week.
Oh God, let's talk about that because that's so good.
All right. Yeah. So Pac-Man, what is it? Championship Edition.
DX.
DX.
Yeah. Degeneration X version. Well,
This is so. I guess to back. Do you know the history of this game? Because it's been on the App Store forever.
I do somewhat. So there's regular Pac-Man Championship Edition, no DX. That came out on iPhone in like 2009 or something, a long time ago, and has been there ever since, and is still there actually. But it's not got widescreen, has been updated forever, and whatever. But it was great the time it came out, and I'm pretty sure that was the same game that was on consoles at the time, Pac-Man Championship Edition, like an Xbox Live game. And then this one is the DX version, which I don't know the differences really between the two, but I'm pretty sure they have different maps. And I actually think this game has different maps from what's on the console currently too, so I'm not really sure. But this particular version actually launched a year ago, soft launched, as a free-to-play game, and it was just bad. Had like timers and all the bad free-to-play stuff. And nobody seemed to really like it, and then it never fully launched. You never heard anything about it. And it kind of just felt like they were going to abandon it or something. And then when we went to that Namco Day thing, they were like, they didn't even have it at the show. They just sort of offhand mentioned like, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to bring that out.
Yeah.
We made it a paid title. It's going to come out like in a couple months. I was like, really? Well, that's really cool. Like, do you have it? Or nah, we had it on iPad. We left it at the hotel or something. Like,
That was the craziest thing about that whole event. It was like that was actually like the cool thing that everyone would have liked to see, and they were like, oh yeah, we left it at home. It's fine.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
So, but whatever, that's fine. So, it's interesting though that they, this felt like one of those things where they were kind of shoehorning the free-to-play thing into a game that didn't really fit well with it, and it made it a bad game. And instead of just releasing it or just abandoning it or whatever, they actually just turned it into a paid game, which I'm sure didn't take a whole lot of work because this game's out on consoles and stuff. So, but it's definitely very good. It plays really well with the touchscreen, which is surprising, and it's super good twist on like Pac-Man. So I don't know, I'm a fan. I like it.
I mean, is it truly endless though? Like I don't.
No, I don't think it's endless. I think there's different boards, but maybe. I don't know. I haven't got very far in it. So
I feel like there's a lot of like crazy crap you can do with like stacking your score and stuff with like different multipliers and shit, but I just don't really understand how that all works just yet.
It's definitely like a more intricate game than you would think. So yeah, it's gonna take some learning before I know really what's going on. But I know that I like it. I know I'm gonna keep playing it.
Well, I guess that's really all you need to know about a game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, when I'm playing it, what drives me nuts about it is I'm like, man, you see the giant like score things that you can string together, like when you have a bunch of dudes and you eat them all at the same time.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like that is what the game is always trying to get you to do, and like I don't know if I'm doing it wrong by not constantly chaining together like the ghosts or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's Pac-Man.
We'll figure it out.
Dude,
maybe
you know what? I'm super excited for the Crossy Road Pac-Man. Like, I'm almost kind of not into this because I know I'm going to be so into the Crossy Road Pac-Man.
Did we talk about that? We played a version of it at WWDC, I think.
Yeah, I don't know how secret that's supposed to be.
Well,
probably top secret.
Either way, it's going to be real good.
It is. It's real good already.
I think that's safe to say. Is the Crossy Road Pac-Man is going to be really, really good.
As long as it's as good as Pac-Mania.
Is Pac-Mania good?
That old Nintendo game?
Oh yeah.
That's like from way back in the day. I remember playing that. Like then angled like that fake 3D, the 2.5D.
How many more Ds do you need though?
I don't know. Give them some 4D.
So yeah, I don't know. So how does the
Okay.
free-to-play stuff in this work? Have you screwed with that at all?
Wait, what game were we talking about?
The Pac-Man.
Oh, there is no free to play stuff. It's gone. There's no in-app purchases.
How do you unlock the extra stages then? Just doing well?
Probably getting scores or something.
Oh well.
People in chat know how to play it. They're offering tips.
Oh yeah. I need a route to collect the sleeping ghost. That
But
does
what
make
if-
sense.
What if I want to pay to win? What do I need to do?
I think you need to buy a different game.
Oh,
So I don't know, but
Or
yeah,
not.
Pac-Man's really cool. I would definitely recommend giving it a shot. So if you had the free to play version already, do you get this version for free?
I don't think so. I'm not entirely sure. It might be a different app ID or something. But
Wow.
that'd be a lucky score for you.
That
I
would be
guess.
pretty sick. So a game I wanted to talk about this week was this Prune game.
Prune is
editor's
awesome.
choice.
This, you know, what's fascinating to me about this game is that they managed to have a pretty complicated, I guess, you know, puzzle setup or whatever, and they managed to do it in a way that has absolutely no text, like at all. Like this game is 100% like language universal. Like it doesn't matter if you even don't know how to read, you can play this game, which is really pretty cool. So like,
They just wanted to skimp on the language, stuff, paying for language translations.
well, I mean, either way, they did
I'm just kidding.
a pretty good job of it. So I guess at its most basic, what you do is just kind of grow a tree or a plant, or I mean, I don't know what you would
Is it a prune tree?
describe what you're growing. I
Are
guess
you pruning a prune tree?
I don't think it is. Do prune trees flower like this thing flowers?
Are prunes just plums?
Prunes are just raisin plums.
No, there's a prune is definitely different from a raisin.
No, yeah,
No,
but
I
like
know, but it's like a
plum.
raisin.
A prune is to a plum as
Is
a
a
raisin is
grape.
to a grape, right?
Yeah.
Dried plums, as they call them now, instead of prunes.
I don't know. I'm not big into the dried fruit
Let's
scene.
discuss
so.
more about prunes.
Maybe chat
Pruning.
knows more about prunes than we do.
So what you do in prune is you grow your little tree thing, and the way you make it you steer it by pruning it, much like the name of the game would suggest. And it gets pretty cool because so it starts off really easy and it teaches you all the mechanics without you needing to like really do anything other than like the very most basic common sense kind of stuff. Like the first level, it's like, oh, you plant the seed, and they teach you that, and I don't really think you have to do anything to complete the first level. And then the second level, you kind of have to learn to prune your tree to go around like the big obstacle in the middle, because like if you do nothing, your tree will just kind of grow up and eventually just hit a stopping point where it can't reach the sunlight, I guess. And so like what that is teaching you then is that you need to plant your little seed and then cut off branches and stuff like that to get it kind of curving in one particular direction, at which point your flowers grow and you win. So I don't know, it's really it's good, surprisingly good.
I will say that I think it has the benefit of being a paid app. I think it's what $3 or $4.
Yeah, I think it's
Like,
$4 even.
You
Yeah.
like the fact that it is paid. I think people are going to have a little bit more patience with you when they're first just kind of figuring out how it
Oh
all
yeah,
works.
no,
You know what I
definitely.
mean? Like if this was like a free to play thing, someone goes, "What the hell is this tree thing? How does this?" And then they'll just give up after 10 seconds.
No,
you
that
know?
is
But then,
that is
but
totally
then
true.
the fact that it looks nice and it's editor's choice and it's paid, you're gonna give it a little bit more time to say, "Oh, what is this all about?" and maybe figure it out. I mean, it doesn't take long to figure out. I mean, it shouldn't, but
I mean, but don't
Well,
you
there's
think it's
also,
clever that there's no language in the game at all?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just have it has just a few little hand gestures or something. That's all they needed, which is
Yeah.
really good because when you're trying to, as a developer, and you hand your app to someone to try to say like figure out, how you're supposed to explain how to play. If your game isn't a one tap game or something, some people are just clueless. Like people are like,
Yeah.
what? And they'll just swipe everywhere and slap their fist on the screen like they have no idea how to play. They're just an ape with tools.
Well, this game's really neat, and there's apparently some like deeper meaning behind it all too. But I guess you need to complete the game to like know.
Deeper meaning.
Spoiler alert:
This
Prune is
one of those hard
life.
games.
No, I don't know.
But I haven't got to the end, so I'm like waiting.
Well, deeper into the game, you are introduced to new exciting mechanics. Like there's like different areas where you can grow your little tree into that'll make it grow really fast, and like wind becomes a thing. So you kind of have to plan how you're going to grow based on it curving like into the wind, or I'm sorry, I guess away from the wind, and with the way the wind blows and stuff.
Yeah.
But you like what's tricky is it seems like the stress of your tree branches is also a thing that gets like taken into account. So like if you're growing too much against like one of the obstacles or whatever, your branch will break off and stuff, which is, I don't know, it's really neat.
I think I saw a comment on Twitter of someone saying for a fairly not complicated, but it's a puzzle game, but it's actually kind of relaxing, or it's kind of neat. You know, it's
It's not like there's no time, like
Yeah,
a countdown clock or anything that's like pressuring you to go. You can just chill out.
I would
kind
say
of
it
a
is.
chill game, but it's like you still have to think.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
I mean it's surprisingly complicated for what they're having you do without telling you what to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess like
is
that was
impressive.
the most fascinating thing to me about this was by the time that you're in like the 5th or 6th level or something like that, you start to realize, wow, I'm doing like really complicated stuff, and I just started playing this game, and there hasn't been like they haven't told me what to do and or anything beyond the little finger suggestion thing.
Yeah, you just see that it's working or that you're doing something. Something's happening when you're doing it.
Yeah, like see, this is actually a game that I would really like to kind of like watch and see how other people play it. You know, like just finding some random person and be like, hey, play this game, and see what they do. 'Cause like I don't know if maybe this is not as clever as I think it is, and I'm just kind of I know how these games are played.
You know, hand it to your grandma and then just
Maybe
hand
I
it to
will.
some crazy aunt at the next family gathering and see how they do it. Like, what is this? And they just swipe with 4 fingers, and you're just, what are you doing?
Does that often happen at your family gatherings?
Yeah, everyone just has no idea how to play anything.
Randomly swiping.
Yeah, people just swipe. You hand something, they just start swiping. What am I doing? Swipe, tap, swipe up.
Just
Home-
wildly
home
swiping.
button. No, you left the app. You got to go back in there.
So, but they're what's interesting also, there's like no menus, nothing. Like how simple the interface of this is nuts. Like really all you can do is reset your progress, view the game's
That's-
credits and stuff like
that's
that. That is it. Like those are the only words that need translated. Which how much money do they save on translation? You know.
To like erase all.
So yeah, I don't know. That's Prune though. Definitely worth checking out, especially if you're tired of free to play games and stuff like that. You know, you're always, if you're the kind of person that's like, oh, I wish someone would make a real puzzler that doesn't have all this in-app purchase junk. Like this is a game that you need to get. Like even if it's not that interesting to you, it's still something that you should like, throw a couple bucks towards to be like, hey, I want more of this kind of thing.
But where is all the unlockables?
There are none.
Where can I
that's it.
spend my coins?
There's
my tree
just
coins.
Different worlds and stuff that you eventually go through once you unlock them. I've unlocked more on my phone than I have on my iPad, but yeah, it's a really cool game.
Very
Somebody,
so-
I think on
very
Twitter,
slick.
somebody explained it as like this is such an Apple game.
Oh, it
and
is.
it got
So, I mean,
editor's choice and stuff, but it totally is.
I would say this is probably going to
It'll
win
get
an
a
Apple
design
Design
award.
Award. Like,
Yeah.
just
I
looking
think
at it.
Apple really appreciates any game like yours that doesn't really need text.
Yeah.
They love that kind of stuff. That it's universal. Just kind of figure
Yeah.
out how to play very, very easily.
Yeah. Well, let's take a quick break, get a word in from our sponsors, and we'll come back on the other side with some more game chat and some news and things like that. Does that sound good?
Cool.
All right, stick with us. All right, so for the sake of the people watching the video version of this, I'm still going to read the ad. It's just
We are still live on Mom Crush.
it might not be as
We're
fluid
forcing
as
advertising on you.
when I actually read it for reals in my basement. All right, so take your MMO on the go with Forsaken World Mobile. The landmark PC series has finally gone mobile. Whether it's epic dungeons, endless loot, or fearsome boss battles you crave, You'll find all of these and more in this exciting new mobile adventure. Brought to you by one of Google Play's top developers, Forsaken World Mobile is a must-have for any hardcore gamer or MMO fan. It's free to play and available on both iOS and Android devices, so no matter what's in your pocket, you'll be able to jump right in and get gaming. So you can find out more at fedeen.com/games/Forsaken-World. So that's FEDEN.com, 2 E's, /games/Forsaken-World. Or just search for it on the App Store. I guess that works too. So yeah.
Are you gonna read that better for the actual podcast?
Yeah, usually if I stumble over any words or anything, then I re-record it.
I like that.
It's a bit of a behind-the-scenes thing.
I'm gonna escape before the news.
Are you
You gotta go?
Yeah, I gotta get out of here. Get out of
Okay.
town.
I
Okay.
think my
So
iPad
you guys
crashed.
can discuss all the highlights.
Tell
Excitement.
your lady happy birthday.
I will.
There's
We're gonna go
something
party.
terrible.
I'll
happening
probably
here.
have to spend money. Taco Bell, here we come.
Wow.
I'll let her get 2 burritos this time.
2 burritos.
And 1 when she gets home. Am I right, guys? Okay.
Yikes.
I'm out.
I think
All
I'm
right,
gonna
later, Mike.
have to.
Bye, chat.
I think we have to restart the stream because my iPad's like wigging out here.
Wigging out. Okay. Streamer people, we'll be back.
Let's see what happens if I unplug it. What was Mob Crush gonna do?
I don't
Go
know.
black.
I'm paused.
You're paused.
I had the video paused. There needs to be like a catch up to live button.
Alright. I'm just gonna reboot this mother effer. Oh, it's weird. I'm logged in on the client as TouchArcade, but I'm chatting as Hodap.
How'd that work? Huh, the screen is just black for me.
Oh, they still hear us? And it says the
Yeah, well, you're
broadcast.
logged in as you, and I'm logged in as me, and oh, well, yeah, I guess. How does that work?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh god, I don't want to show my passcode on Mob Crush.
I don't see anything. I have black screen.
All right, so rebooted, plugging back in.
Oh, I see now. I almost saw your passcode.
Oh,
It's
so
11111.
Oh, well, what's weird? It says like when I have it unplugged, it says the broadcast is offline, and now that I plugged it back in, it says it's back online.
Interesting.
So, all right. Well, I mean, I guess I'll just let that roll then. So you can definitely see it and everything. And
I see your background now.
okay, cool. Well, all right, fuck it.
All right,
I guess it's working.
let's exchange secrets.
Quick. What's your worst secret, Jared? No, all right. I mean, I guess it seems to be working. So, come back in on the other side then. I guess. You ready?
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. Hey, what's up, guys? We're back. I guess if you're watching the YouTube version, you saw the weird technical snafu that we just worked through, which I'm glad no one said anything stupid while we're still broadcasting.
Every episode's an adventure.
It is. So one game that I've been playing that I don't think that we're
Wait.
totally... What?
We should say Mike Mead had to go.
Oh, yeah, Mike Mead fucked off. I don't know what he's
Mike
doing.
Mead is no longer in the building.
Yeah, he has better stuff to do, I guess, than hang out with us. So if you're watching the video feed, or you're listening, I guess if you're listening you can't see it, but I have Spider 2 on my iPad, which been playing. I don't know how much I'm supposed to talk about it yet,
Probably not at all.
but I will say that it is Spider, but way better, which
Yeah.
I think anyone could assume, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Wow, it's
Put
like-
that on the box.
It's like Spider, but 5 or 6 years later.
Yeah.
But it's really, I mean, it's really good. Like, it's surprising how much it feels like the old game, but you can just tell like the amount of technical improvements and everything is just insane. Like especially because like the original one, you know, wasn't made with the Retina display in mind, and
Right. No, you can tell just by watching the trailer. Like everything about it is like, whoa,
yeah,
such a leap forward. And yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
it's gonna be really good. I'm trying to work something out with them where we stream like the first few levels just before it comes out or something like that. So
Yeah.
if you are into Spider, definitely keep an eye on the site or whatever else, because I'm playing it. Sean's actually going to be the one reviewing it, and I don't know if
Sean?
he, yeah,
My favorite TouchArcade reviewer?
yeah. I was like,
Awesome.
because they originally they Randy and David wrote the email to me and was like, you know, hi, you know, I would love if you guys could review it, you know, blah 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 blah. And I was like, oh, I'm just gonna give this to Sean. It's gonna be way better if Sean writes it.
Yeah.
So he's actually, I guess Sean never played through the first Spider. So I was like, oh well, dude, you should do like an RPG reload of Spider, because like that game is pretty important, I feel like.
Yeah.
And our review of it is kind of weird because it was like back when Arn was still writing reviews.
Yeah.
And it's like 4 paragraphs where it's like, Spider is a game where you play as a spider, and in the game you make webs and catch bugs, and it's a lot of fun. You should download Spider today on the App Store. Here's the link.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was talking to Sean.
Finding its voice.
Yeah, like I was talking to Sean about like how I thought that it would be important that, you know, we have like a really in-depth review of Spider. And I was like, you know, I was telling him like, well, you know, here's why the original Spider was important. And I was like, oh, well, here, let me just link you to the review, thinking that I had like written all the things that I've said into an article or something.
But no.
And I was like, wait, this is all we have? I was like, well, maybe the Game of the Year thing has more about it. It's like, no, that's like 2 sentences too.
Yeah, I looked at that the other day. I was like, wow, that was
So
things have improved over TouchArcade if you've been watching over the years.
yeah, I guess I'll just tap it once and open it so you can see something. Oh, Spider, right, of the shrouded moon. It's really good.
Such a tease.
All right, that's all I'm gonna show. So I guess if you're listening to the audio version, it's not worth going to YouTube to look at the splash screen.
It's a great splash screen.
It was a good splash screen. So let's see. I played the new Nitrome game. Did you play this?
The catapult one.
Vaults with an exclamation mark.
Yeah, I played it.
It's really good. I mean, as far as like what I like about it, doing really poorly. What I like about it is that it's another one of these kind of games, you know, where it's like ad-based, very simple kind of stuff. Points you presumably can spend on something. But I don't know. It's cool. I dig it. And
Game audio is high.
I can try to fix that, but maybe not. Let's see. Maybe I can just turn the sound on this off. So yeah, what you do in the game, you control this like purple jelly bean looking thing, and
Is it a prune?
I don't know what it's supposed to be.
It should be a prune.
So you run along, and you have a little kind of pole vault thing, and when you tap the screen, your dude like plants the pole vault thing, and kind of just jumps over whatever. Hence the name Vault. And you just kind of see how far you can go, and as soon as you fall down a hole, you die. There's a surprising amount of obstacles in it, because like when I first started playing it, I was like, oh, all right, this is kind of cool, but you know, this gimmick is kind of stupid. But then like it has like Cannibalt style falling platforms, and all sorts of other things. Shit, I just hit an ad on accident. The ads are a little too much. I haven't bought the no ads unlock yet. Let's see how much that even is. It wants my password to tell me.
You're so cheap.
I don't know. I would assume it's probably a couple bucks to unlock no ads, which I don't know if I'm going to play that. That's always like the value proposition with these kind of games, right? Is am I going to play this enough that the no ad is worth it?
Right.
Or am I just going to play like the other see how far you can go game that comes out next week for just as long? And I don't know. It's good though. I I haven't done well enough that I would spend coins on a continue. And what's interesting is the continues are 50 coins, which is like it takes a long time to get coins in this
I'm not
game.
a fan of continuing in games like this.
No, me neither. I feel like
It's
every
never
time I
worth it.
continue, I waste it too. It's like I
Yeah.
continue and then I'll just die.
Yeah.
You know what would be good though? Like, so here's a free to play mechanic that I don't know if anyone's done yet. So how about a continue system where you could pay, for instance, 50 coins for a continue, right? You know, that's normal or whatever. Or you can pay like 75 coins for a continue with insurance that if you die within, you know, like the next 10 seconds or whatever, it doesn't count.
Uh-huh.
Or I guess it would have to count. I guess it would have to use like maybe the 25 coins extra.
I say don't even let you continue.
No continues?
Continues
how-
are dumb.
Yeah, how are you going to get people to look at your Vungle ads then?
That's a problem, but I never continue even if it's like free usually or whatever.
You know, I don't know. Neither do I. So this game's good. It's free, so it's worth a look, I guess.
Oh yeah, definitely worth a look.
Did you play the Long Siege?
No, I played so this was like match 3 RPG week because like 5 of them came out. But I haven't played the Long Siege yet. I played Guardian Sword, those are like the 2 big ones pretty much, and then Adventure.
Oh, see, I'm the exact opposite. So let me tell you about
let's cover both bases
about
then.
this one, and then you can tell me about the next one.
Sounds good.
So in this game, it's a lot like 10 Million, in that you are doing stuff based on swiping rows of things. So, you know, you swipe coins to get coins. You know, if you played 10 Million, like the gameplay mechanic will be instantly familiar to you. What's different about it though is that the game mechanic itself, instead of fighting monsters or anything like that, it's like a castle battler kind of thing. So when you're making matches, you're summoning dudes that go towards the enemy castle. Which is, I don't know.
It's like a siege.
Yeah. Which I thought
All
was
making
pretty
sense.
clever. But I don't know. My problem with like a game like this is it's good, but I look at it and I'm like, oh, I'd just rather play more You Must Build a Boat.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the matching mechanic is really similar. And what's kind of interesting about this compared to You Must Build a Boat is that when you make a match, the screen actually like grays out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't let you do anything until it like settles all of the matches.
Yeah, I heard a couple of people that were really not fond of that.
Yeah, because it really kind of makes you realize, and we talked about this before with the difference between 10 Million and You Must Build a Boat, was you know, the cascading matches thing and how big of a deal that was. And now that I've kind of played a game like this that really pronounces just how slow it is, like it's just it's terrible. Well, I shouldn't say terrible. I mean, it's not that bad, but
Not your thing.
it's definitely not as good as You Must Build a Boat because of that. Because it's almost like, and it seems there's not very many tile types, so you often inadvertently get like very cascading matches. So it's like the screen grays out and you just sort of sit there for, you know, what feels like way too long. You know, playing a game that should be fast, I guess, or I don't know if it's supposed to be fast, but I guess that's what You Must Build a Boat has kind of
sort of like
trained me.
a lot of RPG games where you choose, say you're in a battle, you choose like your commands and stuff like that, and then you kind of have to sit back and watch all the animations play out or whatever. And I always found that really annoying, and that's sort of what this reminds me of.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's not. I don't want to like, you know, dog on it too hard because it's like the amount of polish and stuff in the game is surprising for, you know, just another matching game, because you know, we see so many matching games that are just like mediocre at best.
Right.
You know, and a lot of care has gone into this one. Like the environments are really cool. The way that like it scrolls in between levels is really cool. The graphics are really nice. The music's super catchy and all that stuff. It just really needs cascading matching. Like in a way that's hard to describe. It needs it so badly.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know, but yeah, that's
So-
that's the Long Siege. So the one that you played, Guardian, what is it, Guardian Sword?
Guardian Sword.
All
Yeah.
right.
This one is more like it's funny. So the matching in this is more like Glyph Quest or like the what was the Wolper game or whatever? You know, where you
Oh, yeah,
tap
yeah.
and drag a line of matches. It's that sort of matching, which I think is really cool. And then yeah, the battling stuff is kind of different. Like it's all trying to think of something to compare it to. It's basically like, you know, your enemy has a countdown timer, and you can only make so many moves before they attack you or whatever. So you sort of have to plan around that, which is something I've seen people like and not like. I think the more I play it, the more strategic I'm finding it, because you can actually see what attacks your opponents are going to do ahead
Wasn't
of time.
that kind of like what Puzzle Quest does too, where it's like you have a certain amount of moves and then they move, right? Or am
Yeah.
I?
I think so.
There's been other puzzle games that have done that. I do like
Yes,
that
there have.
mechanic.
Yeah. One of the things about it is that it kind of forces you to, so you know, you match shields on the board, and that gives you a shield. And if you can match enough of them in a row, you can actually block the entire attack that's coming to you. But it also kind of like forces you to know that when you have one turn left before the guy's going to attack you, you basically have to go for shield. And if you have no shields on the board that you can match, you're kind of stuck having to do something that you know is not going to help you just to pass the round along. So I've seen that kind of turning some people off too, and I can kind of understand that. I sort of feel like that's just something you have to play around. That's just part of the game, you know. Sometimes you're not going to have a good match.
Yeah.
And if you play strategically enough, you can kind of plan for those scenarios. Like, you know, you might have a big chunk of shield emblems all together, but you only need to match like half of them to block an attack, and then you can save that other half for the next attack, rather than going for the giant match all at once. You know what I mean? So it sort of forces you to play matching games a little bit differently because you're battling based on your matches and stuff like that. So I really like that. Yeah, other than that, it's really good. It reminds me a lot of Hero Emblems for whatever reason, even though they're pretty different. But I can see myself playing this one for quite a long time. I still play Hero Emblems, so
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Well, I mean, like Dungeon Raid, I played like forever.
Yeah,
Basically,
even when there's nothing more to do in that game.
basically played that game until whatever.
This is a dungeon
iOS
raid matches like this too.
Yeah, well, I basically played it until whatever iOS update broke.
Yeah.
Dungeon Raid, or like widescreen support didn't come, or whatever else. But this seems cool. I'm gonna spend more time with this. It seems surprisingly slow to get you into the actual game, though. Between like the intro and like the weird story, and it's like I don't give a fuck about any of that.
It's a little weird. And then you also, it throws enemies at you randomly. Airborne enemies you have to use crossbows on. You can't use swords on them. So that's another thing where sometimes you get an airborne enemy and you have no crossbows you can match. So you gotta just make a bunch of matches and hope some crossbows fall from the sky. But I feel like that's part of the game, so.
It seems cool though. I'm gonna spend more. So is this? Do you remember this free, or does it cost money?
Man, that's a good question. Let's see. I
It
think
seems
it's probably free.
Do some fact checking on that.
Everything's free nowadays.
Doesn't seem like there's any
the
like.
long siege is not. It's $2.
Yeah, well, the long siege, yeah. That makes sense. Wouldn't
Wow,
surprise-
how is this not on the best games feature? I am surprised. Adventure Time's there.
Oh, I see. So I have a flying enemy right now. I have to hit it with.
Yeah, you got to
crossbow.
crossbow
Yeah.
that guy.
That's kind of silly, but I mean, whatever. It works. This is really cool though. I dig it.
I like it a lot. I don't like it as much as Hero Emblems. That to me is like the best of these matching RPGs. But
Yeah.
oh yeah, this is free.
Weird. Yeah. I mean, I guess give this a try. It's free if nothing else. The art
sure.
style I'm not super wild about.
Yeah,
Like
it take it or leave it. It doesn't do much for me.
Seems
but
like it could be better.
it's not bad. I don't think.
Huh. Well, I don't know. What other game did I want to talk about? I guess that hit all the big games that I wanted to discuss this week. Unless you've got any other.
What else did I play? Let's see.
Although we are kind of running kind of long, so maybe we should get into the news.
Okay, let's do that.
So let's see, what kind of cool stories should we talk about today? Um, this is cool. Carter just posted this. The Elder Scrolls Legends, which is the card game that I guess Bethesda's take on Hearthstone, we're kind of assuming it's going to be like, and that seems like a reasonably safe assumption. They so QuakeCon is this weekend, and Pete Hines, the VP of Bethesda that we've talked to in the past, talked to Polygon, and he basically wants to have the game be like Fallout Shelter, where like, you know, they're not going to dick around, they're not going to talk about it, they're not going to do anything. It's just going to be like, here's the game, which I think is really a cool way to do stuff. But I feel like the problem there is that you can get away with that when you're Bethesda.
Yeah.
But I feel like people are going to look at this and be like, oh, well, it worked for them, I'm going to try that. And it's like, no. Like, you don't understand. Like,
yeah, no, they announced Fallout Shelter during a stream that like hundreds of thousands of people were watching all at once.
Yeah.
That's different than you stealth releasing your game. But I think this is interesting. So like, that was one of the things I loved about mobile from even the earliest days, was you just never knew what was going to just randomly show up.
Yeah.
And you'd just be hanging out on a regular day and be like, holy crap, this just came out. Like, there's Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars, or, you know, whatever. Some crazy game just comes out of the blue. And it seemed like that would happen a lot.
Well, that was cool, but it also was not so cool because, I don't know, when did you start? You started in 2011,
10.
right? 2010?
10.
Like, man, those early days, it was really, really cool to like catch like a hot scoop when something like hit on the App Store. But man, it fucking sucked when you were like out and about or whatever.
Yeah.
And you like look at your phone, and you're like, oh my god, the forums are blowing up because this amazing game just came out, and like I'm at dinner or you know, whatever else. Like, it's. I was thinking about that this Wednesday when. So I guess if you follow the site a lot, we typically have gotten into the pattern of posting the coming tonight thing, which is basically me just, you know, getting up like as soon as the New Zealand games come out, and, you know, throw a list together, put it on the front page, and, you know, let people check on the forums and stuff like that. You know, just as kind of like an initial, like, hey, here's what's coming. Previously, that was really easy to put together because the New Zealand games followed a very, very, you know, logical kind of thing every single week, where it's like New Zealand games popped up at like 6 a.m. Central Time. You know, they were usually all posted to our forums by like 6:15. Roll out of bed at like 6:30 and just put them together and have the thing posted by 7. Like, you know, I basically scheduled my week around that. Like every Wednesday, that's what I did. But like recently, the App Store has been being weird in that stuff that is released on the New Zealand App Store like isn't appearing when it's supposed to, right? Or you know, it takes most of the day to appear and stuff like that, which has kind of freaked out some developers. Like I talked to Ryan Noodlecake, who
that's his real name.
That's his real name. I think it was when they were releasing Shooting Stars or whatever that, or maybe the previous game or something like that. Because like we had posted that it's coming, right? And they always do the typical like, oh, you know, the new Noodlecake game is out in New Zealand. That's cool. Kind of release cycle, because the other way that developers do it is sometimes they release it at like midnight Pacific, like Rovio typically does that, where it's like, oh, it's, you know, 2 a.m. my time and the new Angry Birds is out. So you know, I messaged Ryan. I was like, oh, yo, are you guys doing this like wacky midnight release shit now? Because that sucks. And he's like, no, I don't know what happened, dude. I'm freaking out. Like looking at iTunes Connect, everything looks fine. So it's definitely not something that developers are doing, which I mean, who knows what Apple's up to, but man, I hope that things get back to the way they were before, because it was really nice to have kind of a pattern of new games versus like now it's like, all right, well, I guess we sit around all day Wednesday and like, you know, see what happens.
Collect the new releases. And then Thursday and Friday is like the stragglers. Make sure and post about those too.
Yeah. Which is really strange. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. So Farming Simulator 16, that's a thing. Surprising amount of people are into these farming simulator games.
I played the last year's model on mobile, and it's pretty cool. Like I see the appeal of it. I think it's neat. I think it was a little too clunky for me.
Did you get deeper into it other than just like riding the tractor around and being like, oh cool, I can put the little combine thing up, that's neat?
Yeah, no, a little bit. Yeah, I did what you're supposed to do, like grow stuff and harvest it and deliver it and do all that stuff. I mean, it's a actual like simulation game, which is pretty cool. But I thought driving the vehicles around and stuff like that and getting them, in the exact right spot to like harvest something or to load something up or whatever was always a little finicky. Not anything like detrimental, but like, it just got annoying after a while. And then once you get bored, you'd like drive tractors into the barns and stuff, and then you'd be done with it. So I don't know. We'll see how this new version goes, though. I think they're pretty cool games, which is funny to say that like a farming simulator would be fun.
Yeah, I don't know. It is always shocking to me how popular because is it the same developer that does all the other simulators like Truck Simulator and stuff like that?
I believe so. Yeah,
I think so. Man, the popularity of those games is just nuts. Because like, especially the truck driving simulator. Like,
Yeah.
if you would have told me, like, if you were pitching a game to me, like, yo, I'm gonna make this game. Here's what you do: you drive a semi truck,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be realistic, and you really, it's the like time realistic and distance realistic and all that other stuff. So you like get in
Sounds
a
like
semi
Desert
truck.
Bus.
Yeah, it's like you get in a semi truck and you drive from Chicago to Florida, or what Chicago to New York or whatever. It
Yeah.
takes you days. I would be like, no one's gonna play that. Like that game was released. It was called
See?
Desert Bus, and it was terrible.
I think it sounds awesome because I think there's so much that goes into something like being a truck driver that you don't know about. You just see these giant trucks on the road and they're annoying you usually. You know what I mean? Or they're going slow or something. But actually being a truck driver that has to like adhere to a schedule and pick up, packages and, this, that, and the other thing. There's a lot of logistical things that go on behind the scenes to ensure that truck drivers get where they're going.
Oh
and
no,
stuff.
I'm not saying
I
it's
think
not
that's really
interesting. It's just one of those things. Like if you're pitching that to me in like some kind of publisher
on
meeting,
paper,
I'd be
it
like,
sounds crazy.
I feel like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
But I feel like you could do that about anything. Like I think there's a garbage truck simulator, but I would find that really interesting too. Like you have to go around and pick up people's trash and do it in a way that makes sense, and do it on time and whatever. Deal with all those things that happen. Is there a garbage truck simulator? I need to find that out.
I wouldn't surprise me if there was. If there's not, there probably will be one soon.
Yeah.
So Fallout Shelter is coming to Android on August 13th, which, man, it seems like every time that we posted about Fallout Shelter and like the Bethesda people retweeted us, like our Twitter was ruined for days.
Ruined for days with Android people.
Yeah,
that were
like
super
angry
mad.
Android people being like, WTF, why you hate Android? Why you love Apple fanboys, jerks?
Well, no, I love that it was like, I know you have it ready and you're just not releasing it because you hate Android.
I mean, it's
like they were lying about it.
honestly, like it would not surprise me at all if they, I mean, because it's built in Unity. It's
Yeah.
easier to release on Android. Like it was ready. Like those people people
Well,
probably were right.
I say yes, and I also say no because there's so many different parameters you have to test for
Well, no,
Android.
that's true, but I mean, all right, consider it this way. Like, we know from talking to a bunch of developers, like a lot of times, if you want like good Apple featuring, like you need to be Apple exclusive,
Yeah.
at least to launch.
At least for a while. Yeah.
So, any way you look at it, like they were gonna launch Apple first. Like whether or not the Android version wasn't ready and they just used that extra month for testing, like that's plausible too. But like, no one's gonna give up a like huge Apple feature, especially like the huge one they got where it was like, oh, the game's live, it's featured.
Yeah, they changed the featuring on a Sunday night for them.
Yeah, that's crazy. No one's gonna turn that down.
No.
Um,
But I also don't think it was some big conspiracy.
no, I mean, like that's the problem is like Bethesda could never come out and just be honest with people and be like, Apple offered us, cool featuring because we were exclusive for a little while. We're gonna release to Android in about a month. We're still tweaking it. Like, deal with it. Like that would just make people angry.
Even if they said that, though, I don't think that would have made people happy. They would have
No.
been
Yeah,
angry still.
just be like, WTF?
Yeah.
Why are you in bed with Apple, Bethesda?
What the flip?
So yeah, the update's also gonna have some new content too. You're gonna get Mr. Handy, which is a little robot dude in the Fallout universe, and there's gonna be rad roaches and death claws are gonna attack your vault. So
Sweet.
I don't know if that's gonna be enough to get me back into the game though, because my problem is I hit like 100 plus vault dwellers, and there's kind of running out of stuff to do.
Yeah, I don't think they thought long term about that game very well at all.
No. So let's see, what else should we talking about looking at the news? So Square Enix announced a free-to-play Dragon Quest of the Stars game for mobile.
That's interesting,
Which,
I guess.
yeah, I don't know. I guess be able to keep an eye on that. That seems like a strange thing to go free-to-play on, because they've been basically rapid-fire releasing every Dragon Quest game under the sun, and people are spending like a lot of money on them.
Yeah, but then, you know, it's sort of like Final Fantasy Record Keeper or whatever. That's like the, social RPG spin on Final Fantasy world. This just feels like a social RPG spin on the Dragon Quest world.
I guess. I mean, Dragon Quest,
separate from their premium games,
Yeah, Dragon Quest does have enough content that they could do a Record Keeper like.
They could, and that would be awesome.
I guess so. If that's what this is, that's cool. So if you've been following the Five Nights at Freddy's thing, which.
And who hasn't been?
Who hasn't? I mean, come on. No, it's weird. Like, so if you would have shown me one of the Five Nights at Freddy's games, right, and asked me what I thought of it, I'd be like, I don't know. I mean, it's I guess, jump scares are cool. Like, I don't. It's all right, kind of thing, right? Like that. I feel like that would be a normal reaction to this, right?
Right.
But man, these games are so insanely huge. Like people that give a shit about posting so much about Five Nights at Freddy's, that is because like we can post a 2-paragraph thing and it will generate more traffic than everything else that day we posted combined. Like it is ridiculous how big these games are. So Five Nights at Freddy 4 is now available on Steam, and we're thinking if it's anything like the previous Five Nights at Freddy's releases, I guess it comes out on Steam first, always, because Scott Cawthon's a PC first kind of guy, just because, why not? And then the mobile version typically has come out anywhere between 2 weeks to a month after the mobile version. So I guess if that is, so if it came out on the 23rd, expect it maybe around like the 6th of August-ish.
Well, the original hints for the release date were all August 8th. And so maybe that was actually more like the mobile release date, since the desktop launched early.
I mean, more than anything else with this series, like I really just want to get in my time machine and jump ahead like 30 or 40 years, and then sit down with Scott Cawthon and be like, yo, so level with me. Like, come on. How much of this Five Nights at Freddy's shit was intentional versus just like stumbling onto a gold mine and having a ridiculous fan following basically out of nowhere, and then
pick apart every little thing ever and create this mythos around the game.
Like that's the thing. Yeah. Like I feel like if you're a one-man studio, and I don't know, the dude could be just like a total genius, and maybe this is all intentional or whatever else. Like I'm not discounting that possibility, I guess, but I just do not see it's just too much work for one person to do all that. I think more than anything else is to build a game, develop the game yourself, and build this like massive universe of riddles, puzzles, and secrets and stuff. Like I just don't.
Right.
I don't know. It reminds me of like the kind of different. I don't know if Star Wars is a great example, but there's been like big sci-fi kind of series with big fan followings and stuff like that pick up on the inconsistencies in movies and then will just run with it. Yeah, it's like, well, of course this is a thing, like the whole.
Like, oh my god, the lamp in the background is red. You know what that means, right? Like,
well, I mean, like look at how crazy like the Han shot first thing has gotten over the last few decades. Like, do you think that even entered the mind of George Lucas at all when he was making the movie? He was like, oh no, here he's going to shoot the alien dude in this cantina. Like deal. end of story, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I always kind of felt about that with like literary symbolism too, in like English class in school.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're encouraged to, at least in the English classes I took, like encouraged to come up with all these weird literary examples of symbolism in books and stuff like that. And it's like, man, I just don't see it. Like I don't think that authors are writing that way. Maybe they are. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you can pull anything out of your ass.
That was kind of my whole point. Was like, if you want to. I don't know. It's been so long since I've written a book report or whatever, but like a lot of that stuff always felt like a stretch to me. But I guess if you could argue it, like fine. But I just feel like when you're one person creating something, unless you're just infinitely smarter than I am, like I just don't know how you can maintain all that at the same time as you're like
Right.
actually building a game and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know, but not very much is known about like what goes into these games. Like Scott's very kind of guarded with. It seems like he doesn't do many interviews or anything like that. So it's entirely possible that he could be paying someone that's like the puzzle master or whatever else of the Five Nights at Freddy universe. Like, who knows? Let's see. What else should we talk about? Oh, this is kind of weird. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. This is dumb. They want
This
you
is
to
dumb.
go to their website and vote. What do? Do you vote or do you?
You put your email in to acknowledge that you have interest in a mobile version. I did it. And then they send you an email back and you basically get subscribed to their newsletter.
Ugh.
So it's like, duh, of course people want the second one on mobile. The first one did really, really well on mobile and is still regarded as like one of the best, those types of RPGs that there are on mobile.
Yeah. So here, let's see.
And it's like a 15-year-old game or whatever. So
yeah. This is want KOTOR 2 for mobile? Sign up now to show your interest.
Yes, we want the sequel. And I think they know that. I think maybe they're just trying to build up their subscriber list or something. I don't know. They have to know that people want this and we'll pay for it.
But this is like the lamest way to do that.
Yeah.
That you could possibly do. I mean, like we've seen
agree.
a big thing to do in free-to-play stuff now is you kind of, so I guess you soft launch and then you throw your website up and like have email signups and then you provide those people some kind of code for some exclusive, launch
Armor
bonus
or
item
something.
or
Yeah.
like something stupid like that. But that's actually like a good value proposition of like, oh, this looks neat. All right, yeah, let me know when it comes out, and sure, I'll take the free stuff. Like, no big deal. Like, here's my email address. That's fine.
Yeah.
That seems normal. This whole like, gee, guys, I don't know if we're gonna. I don't know if anyone wants to play Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Exactly.
If that's a game you want to play on your phone, you have to let us know because we're totally clueless. Like, no,
Yeah.
come on.
I agree. And it sucks that the desktop version just got that big update with all the, additional content, high res upgrades, all that good stuff. After like 10 years, it just gets its update out of the blue. And so that to me, I was like, oh, the mobile version has to be like right around the corner.
Well,
waiting,
the mobile
waiting
version
for Apple approval or something. And
Yeah.
now they do this, and I'm like, have you guys not even started on a mobile version? That is really depressing to me.
Yeah, I mean the mobile version got ESRB rated, so like who knows if that was
It's
just
gotta be, yeah,
part of
I
it
don't know.
or
I hope they're just like, fishing for subscriber lists or something, and that they'll be like in a month, like, hey, here's the mobile version.
yeah,
We'll be like, thank you, instead of like a year or two.
yeah. So Telltale's Game of Thrones episode 1 is free now if you are into Game of Thrones and you haven't played it, I guess yet. I thought the first episode was just okay.
Have you kept up with them?
No, and I feel like a jerk because I was the one that wrote the episode 1 review and I haven't followed up on any of the other ones.
Well, maybe that's something to do someday.
yeah, I probably should do that. I feel bad every time a episode comes out because I'm like, oh fuck. I wish.
Nobody reads game reviews anymore.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I guess if you want to dip your toes into the Game of Thrones universe, it's available now for free.
And it's episode 5, right? So there's just one more.
Yeah. So yeah, we're on episode 5 now. So just one more. So, and unless you power through it in a weekend, like chances are you might get to the point where you're ready for episode 6 right about the time that the 6th episode ready to go, which would be cool. So the big news of the week for me, let me find the actual Hearthstone. Here we go. The Grand Tournament is the new Hearthstone expansion. If you care about Hearthstone, which I do, you'll know that it's been a while since. Well, that's great. You are allowed to not care about it.
No. I have to tell you that I do not care about this thing, and I would like to not listen to you talk about it. Thank you.
You just hang up your phone right now. So it's so the last card expansion they released was Goblins versus Gnomes, which is cool. But what I kind of didn't like about that card set was that it was very, very heavily leaning on, obviously the theme of Goblins versus Gnomes. So most of the cards were like wacky clockwork kind of stuff and goblin explosives and all that stuff, which, I mean, eventually once they get a lot of card sets in, like it'll make sense to have, a little sprinkling of everything. But I felt like it was thematically, it leaned too much on one particular part of the Warcraft universe,
Uh-huh.
which for the first expansion seemed like a lot to swallow. The Grand Tournament, however, is actually kind of interesting because the idea or the story behind the Grand Tournament is similar to that of the Argent Tournament, which if you played World of Warcraft, you know what that is. If not, you probably don't care. In that there's all this bad stuff going on, so they had a tournament, blah, 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 blah. The Grand Tournament kind of takes that one step further, and it's like they're doing the tournament again, and they invited like everyone in Azeroth. So you have all these combatants from all these different factions and stuff. So it feels like it's a lot more representative of the overall Warcraft universe, I guess, instead of just being like, oh, here's a bunch of robots and a bunch of goblin cards and stuff.
I think that's cool because I think like I didn't play WoW and I don't really play Hearthstone, but I played like Warcraft 1 and 2 back in the day, and there's like a lot of background history and stuff to the whole universe. I think is really cool, and so I think it's neat to expand on that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So this is pretty neat. I mean, there's a lot of new card mechanics, and of course, a new board to play on, and all that stuff. So that is coming. I don't remember if they got any more specific than saying it's coming next month. But one thing they're doing that I think is super clever, and I wish more virtual CCGs did this because I would certainly play way more of them, is they are going to allow you to pre-order packs of cards. So I guess to back up a bit, the way that when I was big into playing Magic, and ever since I kind of got my house and got busy and stuff like that, I haven't played too much. But when a new card set would come out, I would buy a couple boxes of cards, because you can buy a box of cards for anywhere between like $80 to $120 depending on the rarity of the set, and then you basically lower the price per pack down to like anywhere between like $150-ish to $2, maybe
you're buying in
more.
bulk.
Yeah, buying in bulk. I mean, that's the basic idea. And the reason why I never really got too big into Magic Online beyond like the few cheap decks that I play every now and again is packs on Magic Online cost $4. They always cost $4, and they will always cost $4. There's no way to buy them cheaper at all. So that's just, it is what it is kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I've always been like, well, man, I'm not going to buy, like, that gets expensive fast. 15 cards for $4, and you might not even get what you want. Like, holy shit, like, fuck that. So what Blizzard's doing is, I want to say, and this is off the top of my head, I don't remember precisely unless I wrote it down. I don't think I did on this article, but you'll be able to buy 50 packs of cards for a discounted pre-order price, which I think is cool.
Yeah,
because it's like,
really cool.
It's like, if you're really into Hearthstone, like, yeah, it's totally no problem. It's probably going to be, it wouldn't surprise me if it's like $30 maybe.
Yeah, because
that's kind of what the price of the other kind of expansions go for.
Yeah,
which if that's the case, that seems really fair. Have like, what's that, like 60 cents a pack if my math is right.
Yeah.
Which they usually sell for $1 a pack, I think. I don't know. I haven't bought a single pack in so long. It's ridiculous. But that's pretty cool. And like, especially if you could do like 2 pre-orders. Like, I figure you spend $60 on a game, you probably get like every card out of the new set, or at least like a really good start to having all of them.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Like that.
What happens in that game if you get duplicates?
It's got a crafting system. So when you get duplicates, you're able to like destroy them into a currency, which you can then use to buy the cards that you want.
Oh, neat.
So it works out pretty cool. And again, really fair free to play system and everything else. So unless you're just not into card games at all, like, I feel like Hearthstone's worth checking out.
I always wondered if I should try and get back into it. I played it when it came out a little bit.
What, Hearthstone?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, now here's the problem now, is that you are
way behind.
So far behind, it's ridiculous. So and I'm kind of curious how this is going to impact the future of Hearthstone. Because if you saw, so say you're watching TV at some bar or something, and you see it, they advertise Hearthstone on ESPN like all the time. It's weird.
Yeah, I know, I see that.
So you're at some bar where they got ESPN on in the background. You see a Hearthstone commercial, you're like, oh, hey, that looks neat. Let me try that.
Yeah.
So you download it, So now you are behind the whole basic card set, the whole Goblins versus Gnomes card set, the whole next Ramus Adventure card set, and the whole Blackrock Mountain card set. So between the two adventures, you're going to need to spend either $60 for the single player stuff, or unlock, or you play the game a ridiculous amount to get enough gold to unlock both of them, and then buy countless packs of the original set and Goblins vs. Gnomes and stuff like that.
You're not making this sound fun. I'm not gonna try it.
I mean, the thing is though, like if you're good at card games, like you can do very well in Hearthstone with totally free to play decks without spending any money or really getting any good cards or anything like that, because it's just balanced in a way like any collectible card game is, where like skill trumps, you know, how much money you spend on the game almost every single time. But I don't know, I feel like that's something that they're going to have to eventually address in the future, right? Because so imagine Hearthstone at this time next year, where it's like, you know, you hear about it from a friend, or you see a TV commercial or whatever, and now instead of 3 card sets and 2 adventures, you're 6 card sets and 4 adventures behind.
Yeah,
I mean
that's true. You know, that's true of a lot of free to play games though too. Like if you like today saw Injustice and you're like, that looks cool, I'll try that, and you liked it, you've missed like tons of challenge characters and events and items, and you guys are all going to be super low level and all that stuff. I feel like a lot of free to play games are like that, where if you're not on from the ground floor, you're going to have a bad time.
Yeah, but I mean, is the player versus player stuff in Injustice to the point that you would like be going up against people that have those characters?
No, actually, I think that there's enough of a player pool and enough of a spread of different leveled cards that people own, that it'll always match you up with somebody that's similar to your own level. So that's good. And it's not like real time or anything like that. So it doesn't really, you know, it's not like you're going to get pounded by someone because they're super good. They've been playing for 2 years. Yeah. So I guess it's not so bad, but it is something to think about, though. Maybe I'll experiment by downloading Hearthstone right now as a new player and just see what the experience is like.
So here's the problem, though, is that you will play the game and you'll match up against someone that has cards that are just like super expensive as far as like in-game currency is concerned, very rare and stuff like that, and you'll just get frustrated. Yeah, because it's like, well, fuck this, like I don't have all this shit, and like I'll need to spend, I mean, like seriously, to get competitive now, you would have to spend over $100, and that probably wouldn't even really get you in the door of having like everything you need. But like, what's crazy is like, I mean, I haven't spent a ton of money on the game because I've been playing it since day one, you know? So like, if you play every day, you can almost pretty reliably get like at least 1 pack of cards. Yeah. So, you know, imagine if the game's been out a year, you know, that's like 300 free packs of cards, you know, more than that. Right. So I don't know. I don't mean to discourage you, but it's going to be hard to get into.
Okay. I'll contemplate this.
You'll contemplate, and then just.
I mean, the longer the game's around, that's more of a problem, because you always are wanting to grow your player base. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not as much of a problem for most other free to play games, though. That's what's kind of interesting, because it's like, you know, say for instance, like a game as basic as Heyday or whatever, which has been updated. I mean, they update that game a ton. Like the amount of content is ridiculous. Like my girlfriend's always pushing up against like, you know, the end of the available content. It's just nuts, the amount of stuff that she's gone through in it. And but if you download it now, it's like that extra content's like, you know, like whatever, I'll eventually get to it. Like who cares? My farm's fine, kind of thing. True. It's not like you're going farm against farm with someone that has like an entire deck full of 30 super rare, you know, farm cards or whatever. Right. You're like getting pushed in your face and all that stuff. So I don't know.
How come there hasn't been a Clash of Clans farming game? How awesome would it be to farm and then battle?
Yes.
Maybe there is that, actually, now that I think about it.
I feel like every variety of that type of game has been done 10 times over.
Farm and then battle.
Oh, God. Well, should we drive this podcast home and...
Let's drive it off the road and
get on with our lives.
Off the cliff.
So thanks a ton for listening, or I guess thanks a ton for watching if you're watching this on Mob Crush Live, or you are watching it on YouTube after the fact. if you're not watching us on Mob Crush, you should totally download the Mob Crush client. I think you can just get it by going to mobcrush.com on your phone. I think it's mobcrush.com/beta on an iOS device, and it'll just install the thing, something like that. We stream all the time. Whole team is streaming. Like seriously, everyone is now streaming on Mob Crush right through TouchArcade, so that's pretty cool. And if you want to send us an email, it's podcast@toucharcade.com. If you want to leave us an iTunes review, anywhere from 1 star to 5 stars, we'll read them. If you want to send us an email, please do. I already said that. If you sent us an email and we haven't read it on the podcast, just respond to the email so it bumps up on my inbox. Like we talked about it earlier, but the amount of spam we get is ridiculous.
Yes.
So I think that is about it.
I think that's it.
All right, cool guys. Well, thanks for sticking around, and we'll catch you next week. Cool. All right, I'm taking the stream offline. So thanks for
streamer guys for
thanks
watching.
for watching, everyone. It has been real.